Service meditation, getting us centered and grounded so that we can enjoy and be inspired by the upcoming Sunday service. So if you'll just get comfortable, possibly sitting upright in your chair with your feet flat on the floor and your shoulders rolled back, heart open. Now with your eyes gently closed, gaze upward at that point of light right there between the eyebrows. Today we'll be doing clouds in the sky as a meditation practice. So imagine yourself right there across the screen of your mind, a beautiful place, perhaps a beach, a wide open field, or somewhere in the mountains, maybe next to a flowing creek or a waterfall. Maybe you know this place, or maybe it's one that exists from a movie or a book, or one that exists in your imagination. This place is beautiful. And now as you gaze upward into the wide blue sky, there's just a few white puffy clouds drifting past as you allow them to move past on the screen of your mind. And while noticing the clouds, notice any thoughts going past in your mind. As you notice each thought, see if you can just visualize it shrinking and maybe even placing it on the cloud as that cloud floats by. You might notice that some clouds get stuck or maybe move more slowly than others sailing by more quickly on the currents of air. Some change sizes and shapes, but all of them eventually pass and drift away across the sky. If they do seem to get stuck, you can try breathing out to gently push the cloud onward. That cloud that has your thought across it, just allow it to move onward. And then taking a second to notice your thoughts and feelings, and continuing to place them on a cloud, letting them drift away on your every breath. You might find yourself caught up in a cloud from time to time, floating with the thoughts, caught up in the clouds themselves. If this happens, just notice which thought has pulled you in. No judging, just notice. And then bring yourself back to this beautiful place, this gorgeous view. Breathe the clouds away, and then return to just watching them drift by across this expansive blue sky. Take time to watch your thoughts and feelings, big or small, happy or sad, as they rest on the clouds and eventually float by. And now we'll take this time as each thought just passes on, floats off into the distant, expansive blue sky, to go into the silence of our meditation this morning. Gently coming back from your meditation. As we wrap up our meditation this morning, remember that all your thoughts and feelings, they will eventually pass. So allowing them to pass so that you can have a few moments of silence is a great practice. So now I invite you to bring someone to mind that would benefit from healing prayer. Maybe yourself, as we remember the absolute truth of our being, knowing that the divine is in and as and through us, that our health is in the arms of the divine, perfect, whole, and complete, every cell on board with our perfect health, every cell and organ and tissue on board with our perfect expression, vital and enthusiastic. So we allow this time of refreshing and renewing this morning in our meditation to invigorate our bodies, animate us, knowing that we are expressing the purity and the love of the divine as us. We're grateful for this opportunity together. We're grateful for the Amani Center. Knowing this is already our truth, we easily and effortlessly release this and let it go for the highest and greatest good of all. As we say together, and so it is. Namaste, dear Amani Center. Enjoy the pre-service meditation and be sure to join us every Sunday to meditate together and for the uplifting Sunday service. Namaste.
We Thank you for that gong. And welcome, Amani, to our Sunday live stream experience. We're so grateful you're here. Are you ready to raise the vibration in the room, in your home, in your heart, and in the world? Then stand in your home, stand wherever you're watching, and let's sing our opening song together with the wonderful Faith Rivera.
Aloha! Wait, I have to lean to the side. Hi!
This is
Kai.
and this is
Izzy.
Kai and Izzy, and we're gonna lead you in coming together, and you're gonna follow the kids. So this
Yeah.
and she might dance and sing too. So thank you for having us. Here we go. I got love.
I got love.
I got peace.
I got peace.
I got joy.
I got
Flowing
joy.
like a river. I got love.
I got love.
I got peace.
I got peace.
I got joy.
I got
Flowing like a river. One heart.
one,
One mind.
one man,
One love.
one
Flowing
love.
like a river. I got hope.
Got hope.
I got strength.
I got strength.
I got faith.
I got faith.
Every mountain. I got hope.
I got hope.
I got strength.
I got strength.
I got faith.
I got
To move
faith.
every mountain. One heart.
One,
One mind.
one man,
One love.
one
To move
love.
every mountain. I got you.
I got you.
I got me.
I got me.
I got us.
I got us.
Coming together. Yeah, I got you.
I got you.
I got me.
I got me.
I got us.
I got
Coming together. One heart.
one heart,
One mind.
one man,
One love.
one
Coming together. You know we're coming together.
coming
Yeah,
together,
coming together.
coming together,
Oh, coming together.
coming together,
You know we're coming together.
coming together.
Oh, one heart.
One,
One mind.
one man,
One love.
one love.
Coming together. I got you.
I got you.
I got me.
I got me.
I got us.
I got
Coming together. Yeah, I got you.
I got you.
I got me.
I got me.
I got
I
us.
got
Coming together. One heart.
one,
One mind.
one man,
One love.
one love.
Coming together. One heart. One heart.
One heart,
One mind.
one man,
One love.
one love.
Coming together. One heart.
One heart,
One mind.
one man,
One love.
one love.
Coming together. Oh, yeah.
Yay!
Oh, my gosh. Thank you, God. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Izzy, say bye.
Thank you, Faith. That was awesome. So wonderful to have you here. And wonderful to have everyone here who has tuned in to our Sunday live stream experience. We are doing the last Sunday of the month live stream so that we can bring in some guests from places other than our local area. So that's been just a little blessing for us from this pandemic time that we've been able to bring in more speakers and musical guests. And you get to be a part of that today, and more about that in just a moment. So my name is Marcy Mitchell. I am the Center Director and a practitioner here at the Amani Center, and it is my great joy to welcome you to this Sunday experience. We like to start our service by reading our vision statement together. So we're going to bring that up on the screen, and if you would speak it aloud with us. We are an inclusive spiritual community dedicated to raising consciousness and transforming lives. And so that is something that is so important to us here at the Imani Center. That's why we're here. That's why we bring you the service, the classes, everything that we do with that purpose in mind, to make the world a better place. So we have a lot of ways that we do that besides our Sunday experience. We have classes we'll talk about, workshops. We also have our Circle of Light, which is made up of our practitioners and our ministers, all trained in the science of affirmative prayer. And so we are here to pray for and with you and help you remember the truth about who you are. So if you have something that's weighing heavy on your heart, or something that you need to release, something that you want to bring in or manifest, you can reach out to the Imani Circle of Light. You can drop a comment below. There is a button that you can hit on our Facebook page to book a treatment. That is our gift to you, a complimentary spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. And whenever you're in the space, we are always here available after service to do those treatments with you. So please take advantage of that. It is our honor to do it, and it is a gift that really lifts both the person who's treating and the person who's receiving treatment. Okay, so now we'll just take a few moments and go through our announcements. So we have a lot of things going on at the Imani Center. So today's a special day as we have our special guest speaker and musical guest. Today's speaker is the wonderful Reverend Donna Apidone. And our musical guest is the amazing Faith Rivera. So we are going to have a wonderful service here. I'm so grateful to have both of them here. And what else do we have going on? There we go. This is our July schedule. Thank you. The theme for July is creating balance and integration. So hopefully that sounds good to you. And speaking, we have Reverend Sherry the first week of every month. Then we have a little bit of change this month because we've got some people who are on vacation. So second week, we're going to have ministerial intern David Clark, always a favorite here at the Imani Center. And then we have a new speaker on June 18th, she's a practitioner, Leah Clark. She'll be speaking in place of Mitch this month. And then our special guest speaker on the last Sunday is... I just realized I got June on, though, and those and not July. Well, it should be July, folks. Yuli Rodriguez will be speaking on the last Sunday, which is July 25th. And our special musical guest will be Leah Morris. And she is a wonderful musician, singer-songwriter. So I'm glad to bring her to the Imani Center. You'll really enjoy her. Okay, and so we have some new classes beginning, starting with Year 1 Academy class, The Mystics, and Reverend Pixie DeFore is leading this. It is a 6-week class from 6:30 to 8:30 on Thursday nights. So you can sign up for that. There should be a link that's being dropped. It's $75. This is part of our Year 1 Academy first year. So as if you're on a track for becoming a practitioner, or just if you want to take the class, it's open to everyone. So sign up for that. It's going to be wonderful. And then we also have a non-academy class that Yuli Rodriguez will be teaching, and it's Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. So she's a practitioner here. She's a professor at our local college, Folsom Lake College. And this is a fabulous class based on Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. This will be Monday nights from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And it's only going to be $50 to $60, pay which you can afford. And I would encourage you to jump in on this class in July. It'll go through to August. Awesome class. And we are going to be scheduling our dedication and graduation ceremony. It is going to be probably in October. We're still nailing down that date, but we could use some volunteers for this. We're going to do a big celebration with a potluck. And so we just need some folks who would like to be part of this event. So there is a link that is going to be dropped. And let's go to that next slide. We have a new way for volunteers to sign up for anything that you want to volunteer for. So if you click the link that's hopefully being dropped right now. It will take you to our Discover Center, and you can sign up for this, and then it'll take you to a module where you get to answer questions about what you're interested in doing. Do you want to help with the kids? Are you interested in helping with teens or hospitality? Or do you have technological skills you'd like to share? Or just what is your gift? What would you like to bring to help out at the Amani Center? So I'm excited to have this new way for you to sign up. Take a look at it. I'm sure there's something that you could bring if you're interested in getting involved. And so that's it for our announcements. So now we'll take a moment and bless the service. So if you will just take whatever's in your lap out of your lap, put your feet flat on the floor, and just prepare to go within. Sitting up nice and straight, allowing your eyes to close, and just receiving a cleansing breath in. Pausing at the top and then releasing all of that air, becoming fully present in this moment. This is your time. This is your time to get centered, to get present, to be in the now. I know that everyone who needs to be here, who needs to be tuning in right now, is here. And I'm grateful that you listened to that voice that told you that this is where you need to be. I know that there is only one divine power. It is energy, it is flow, it is love, it is nature. It is all-powerful, all-knowing, and everywhere present, including in you right now. It operates as you, through you. You are the hands and feet of the divine. And so I know that this power, this energy, is flowing through each and every person in the space, in your homes, wherever you're hearing my voice, right now. And it is flowing through this center, the Amani Center. Today's Sunday experience is divinely led, divinely sourced, uplifting, and flows easily and perfectly. I am so grateful for everyone who shows up to make this service possible, for our wonderful speaker, Donna Apidone, for our amazing musical guest artist, Faith Rivera, for our live stream team, our sound team, our practitioners, our ministerial team, all of the volunteers, and each and every one of you who shows up to make this possible, to make this happen, to help this unfold so perfectly. And I am grateful to know that treatment always works and that all is well. And so I release my word into the law. I know that as I speak it, it is already unfolding, it is already done, and all is truly well. And together we say, and so it is. Okay, and now I'm going to hand the microphone over to our practitioner of the day, Angie Gann, for our affirmation.
Thank you. Good morning. I'll be leading us through today's affirmation. There it is, which is brought to us today by Reverend Donna Apidone. I'll be reading it through 3 times. The first time we'll read it together with energy and enthusiasm. The second time we'll bring it down into our hearts and read it in a whisper. And the third time, if you would just join me mentally. Let us begin. The work we do together is part of our healing. We look for the sweetness that lies ahead. The work we do together is part of our healing. We look for the sweetness in what lies ahead. The work we do together is part of our healing. We look for the sweetness in what lies ahead. And now more from Faith Rivera.
Where I am, God is. Where I stand, God is standing strong. Where I breathe, God is breathing life. Ask me where I see God is, where I dance, joy lifts my feet, where I live, beauty's flowing free, in and out and through me. Ask me for where I doubt. God is the faith in me, where I cry. God is the comfort there, where I seek. God is the answer, here and now and ever, and ever, and ever, where I speak. Truth is, where I work. Love is my career, where I play. God is playing boldly, in and out and through me. Ask me. Oh, oh. Oh, hey, hey. Where I am, where I stand, where I play, where I work and breathe and move and be, where I sing, where I dance, my dance, wherever I go, where I pray and take and give and live. God is, life is, joy is, oh, God is.
Thank you for that, Faith. That was wonderful. And so now I'm going to lead us into the meditation and follow that with the divine healing. So if you'd like to just take a moment to gently close your eyes, taking a nice deep breath in, breathing in peace, holding, and breathing out, letting go everything that is not peace. Again, breathing in peace, holding it, and letting go, releasing everything that is not peace. As we move into the new season, we move into summer, and summer is the time when the seeds that we have sowed begin to take root and begin to grow and blossom. And so we know that our thoughts are things. And just like planting a seed into the soil, with our thoughts and our words, we plant things into the soil of our consciousness. And so let us review today, what have we been planting in our consciousness? Have we miscreated and created some seeds that we would rather pull out and focus rather on the positive seeds in ways of fear thoughts, lack thoughts, Any negative feeling or thoughts that you may have been having, you can simply take those and uproot them as the mistakes that they were, and focus your attention rather on the thoughts that you do want to create, that you do want to manifest into your world. And so you focus your energy on that, and whatever you focus your energy on is what manifests in your world of being and affairs. And so I invite you in this meditation period to focus on what it is that you're choosing to create with your thoughts, and what it is you may want to release, and using this moment now to choose and do so. Enjoy your meditation. And so staying in this space just a little longer, we bring into mind a few of our beloved fellowship members, and we see them in their divine native perfection. We see them as being perfect, whole, and complete. We see the healing white light of the love of Jesus Christ himself. And we see him wrapping each of these individuals in a love embrace that heals them here and now, where they are, as they are. And we see that perfection happening in a moment. Healing can occur in just an instant of time. All it takes is the revelation of divinity that lies at the core of each and every one of us, and so it lies at the core of them. And we are so grateful to see them in a full, swift, and complete recovery. And we are so grateful to know in our hearts that this can be so in just a moment's time. And so we release our word, sending it on wings of angels to each of these beloved souls. As I release my word, knowing that even as I speak it, it is already done, as together we say, and so it is. And more from Faith Rivera.
I am a child of this universe. The ocean dances at my feet. The wind plays a melody through my hair. I am loved at every turn. I am kissed by Mother Earth. Yes, I am a child of this universe. The sun warms me in its embrace. The stars have a light for me in the sky. I am honored by all life. I am held by Father Time. Every blade of grass, every shaking leaf on a tree, every mountain top sings of the glory of God moving through me. Oh, yes, I am a child of this universe. Through my breath, all of life can breathe. I plant the seeds with my every dream. I can love at every turn. Give a kiss to Mother Earth, yes. Yes, I am a child of this universe. I greet the God in each face. I am the channel for peace to flow. Oh, I honor all of life. Yes, I'm one with Father Time. To every blade of grass, to every shaking leaf on a tree, to every mountain top, it sings of the glory of God moving through all. Moving is me. Moving as you and you are moving, moving as
Thank you, Faith. So wonderful to have you here at the Imani Center. And now it is my great honor and joy to introduce a speaker who we've had here several times, who is just a wonderful, wonderful energy on the planet, my friend, Reverend Donna Apidone.
The work we do together is part of the healing. We look for the sweetness in what lies ahead. You know, when Marcy first told me about the fire theme, I thought, well, I don't know if I have anything really to say about that. But then I thought about Kristen and all of the ritual she does. A lot of ritual involves fire. And then I thought about our fire season, which never seems to end. It seems to be around us all the time. And then I started singing that old song by The Doors. And pretty soon I thought, well, this is a fascinating topic. Maybe I really do have something that I can share with you. Fire has given me a never-ending set of lessons to learn. The lesson of the futility of control and the lesson of the danger of complacency. The futility of control and the danger of complacency. When I think about fire, I think about danger. Fire is dangerous. It's illegal to yell fire in a crowded theater. I associate fire with words like fury and fierce. Maybe not from the same root, but those are the words that come to my mind. And old sayings, too, like you can't fight fire with fire. Fire isn't always dangerous. There are times when it's very gentle and very calming and very beautiful. A fire in my fireplace on a cold winter night, it's lovely. The candles I light for meditation, they're beautiful. They calm me. Historically, Fire was the center of the home. The hearth was where everybody gathered round. Those big walk-in fireplaces, you've probably seen photographs of them from days gone by. They served as furnace and stove and a lamp to light the darkness. But there was danger involved there too. They caused a lot of grief. In colonial America, the number one cause of death for women was childbirth. Number two was burns. Those big walk-in fireplaces and those big full skirts were just not a good combination. And that's where we start with the lesson of complacency, the danger of complacency. When we're around something every day, we get used to it. When we're around something every day, we kind of think that maybe we can control it, and we let our guard down and we become complacent with it. But fire doesn't like to be controlled. Fire will let you know you are not its boss. And if you try to be its boss, fire will speak up. If you become complacent, fire will remind you of its power. There are fire signs in astrology. And if you've ever known anyone who is a Leo or an Aries or a Sagittarius, you know what I'm talking about. My mother, my grandmother, and I, all Leos. My dad was an Aries. Yeah, flare-ups with fire signs, yes. And just when you think you've tamed us, we'll let you know you are not our boss. Just when you think that things are very calm, we'll remind you that we are fire signs. The other side of that, of course, is that Leo and Aries and Sagittarius are the signs of passion and creativity and spontaneity. And we're a little competitive. We're also inspired. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. At the beginning of my senior year in high school, a very good friend of mine was burned very badly. She was in hospital for months. And even after she was released from hospital, the treatments went on for a long time after that. 17 years old, and her life changed in just a moment. The rest of us wanted so much to make her life normal. It wasn't normal for a long, long time, but we tried. We had a sort of a crash course, self-taught, on how to take care of a burn victim. We learned from her parents, we learned from her doctors and nurses, and we did everything we could to help be a part of the team that took care of her. We learned how to minimize pain when changing the bandage for a burn victim. We learned how to keep the patient moving, all parts of her body. It's important to keep the skin flexible after you've been severely burned. And we learned to look for the least little sign of fever, because the least little sign of fever was a sign of infection that had to be avoided. We also learned what to say to people. What to say to the people who were staring and asking questions about burns and skin grafts and awkward mobility. We learned all of that because fire doesn't want to be controlled, and it doesn't care if a 17-year-old gets in its way. There were a lot of lessons for us all to learn that year. A lot of the lessons for me had to do with patience and grace and being complacent, learning how not to be complacent. It seems like fire's been getting our attention since Prometheus stole it from the gods to give to humans back in that age-old story. And it seems like we've been trying to control it ever since that day. There is a lot in ritual, a lot in spiritual practice that's based on fire. In Celtic circles, Brigid, the fire goddess. In Egypt, Ra. In China, the dragon, that wonderful fire-spitting creature who is the center of so many celebrations from the East. The example of the phoenix, too, gives us hope that we can rise from the ashes. And in India, fire is the last rite. We've watched in the COVID era the sadness of so many families in India who couldn't afford the wood for the funeral pyre and couldn't practice that last rite of passage. My grandparents grew up in a little town with the most spectacular, unobstructed view of a major source of fire and fury called Mount Etna. And what I've learned in the last couple of years is that Etna is not a mountain. Etna is not a volcano. Etna is a way of life. So much in that part of the world revolves around that volcano and probably around other volcanoes in other parts of the world. It's probably very much the same. It's a way of telling time. You know, sometimes we ask each other as a way of telling time, do you remember where you were on September 11th? Or do you remember where you were when Kennedy was assassinated? There have always been questions like that that help us measure time. Around Mount Etna, they say, do you remember where you were for the 1991 eruption? Or it's a way of teaching lessons like, well, you know what happened back in 1669. In a lot of places in Europe, the towns were built on hills for a practical reason, protection for the town. If you're up on a hill, you're less likely to be invaded by the enemy, or at least if you are invaded by the enemy from up on top of a hill, it's slower for them to get to you and you can see them coming. But around a volcano, you build on the side or on the top of an adjacent hill so that you're not overcome with lava flow. It's a different kind of logic. And in our case, the town also had the amazing view, as do a lot of towns around any volcano. You'll find places of worship that have the volcano in the background for beauty and to honor it, to show respect for how fierce it is. When we were kids, the old folks used to tell a story about the rich people in their town. The rich people in their town would gather up their possessions and they'd take them over to the mountain and they'd hike up Etna and they would throw their valuables into the volcano, or so the story goes, to appease the gods. Well, now the logical questions, if you heard such a story, would be, appease the gods about what? What kind of valuables did they throw in? Why were they trying to control the gods? Why were they trying to control the volcano? Why were they doing all of that? Unless you were me and my cousin Patrick, we didn't ask those logical questions because we were over in the corner scheming about how someday we were going to go up to the side of Mount Etna and we were going to climb into the crater and we were going to scoop up all of the gold and all of the other valuables and we were going to be rich. That was our plan. As if you could just walk into a crater and scoop up what was there, as if the gold was still there, as if nobody had tried this before, as if it had never crossed anyone's minds. Talk about complacency, but we just didn't know. We were silly kids. Our town was never burned by the volcano because it's on the side of an adjacent hill. But so many cities have been devastated by volcanoes. And it isn't the same as a wildfire that we're used to around here, but it's serious in its own way because it's the combination of fire and ash and lava all working together that produce the same kind of intense heat. And we saw an example of that in the year 79, Pompeii, Mount Vesuvius. They were complacent. They knew the signs of their volcano. They kind of ignored that, and the town was demolished. Those fiery eruptions cause a lot of damage. But what happens afterward? What happens after? That's where the healing begins. That's where the growth comes into play. Now, I have a friend who works on Mount Etna. She's a tour guide. She takes bus tours up to the top of Mount Etna, shows them around, and they make a whole day of it. So I went up there on the bus with her one day. I didn't go for the whole tour, but I did spend some time hiking around the side of a volcano. I was hiking by myself on the side of a volcano. There were a lot of other people there, but I was just on my own, kind of rummaging around in the cold lava from 1991. And a ladybug landed on my shoe. This little flash of red, a ladybug. It had never occurred to me that a ladybug would be on the side of a volcano. Or a honeybee, but bees are very popular there. Bees and their honey and other items that are made from honey are a big industry around Mount Etna. And there are farms and there are vineyards that all benefit from the lava and the rich soil that comes from that, and the tourists. It's a big tourist trade, lots of bus tours, lots of people going to the top, lots of people buying that honey product, and lots of people, like me, hiking around complacently on the side of a volcano. The aftermath of a volcano is a lot like the aftermath of a fire. It takes a while for things to settle down. It takes a while for people and plant life and animal life to become calm again. But that's when the work begins. The work we do after something so devastating is part of the healing. It's part of what we have to do. It's important that we stay busy to heal. It's important that we keep all parts of the body, all parts of the community moving so that we don't tighten up. It's how we rebuild our lives. The losses from a volcano or a fire can be one or two people or a whole town, or as we saw in Australia a couple of years ago, a whole species of animal can be threatened. But the healing is what brings us together, what happens after the fact. We learn to be a team. We have no choice but to move forward, so somehow we always manage to do it. We learn to change our emotional bandages. The pain is still there. The treatment continues. But bit by bit, we learn to help each other through the awkward mobility until we can stand on our own and walk on our own. And we do that together. One of my favorite stories ever is The Wizard of Oz. The Scarecrow. Remember the Scarecrow? One of the first things the Scarecrow told Dorothy was, "I'm not afraid of anything except a lighted match." And for good reason. And he faced that lighted match later on in the story when the Wicked Witch conjured up that ball of fire and said, "How about a little game of ball of fire, Scarecrow?" and threw it at him. That was kind of scary. I still remember it from being a little kid. It was kind of scary. We all have a Wicked Witch nearby. We all have someone who's trying to throw fire our way. It gets whipped up all around us. And we can't be complacent. We have to take fire seriously in whatever form it comes to us. But the thing about this talk is that it's not really about fire. It's not about fire at all. This talk is about anger. I used the word fire to give you a lot of examples of how not to be complacent and how not to even try to be in control. But it's really about anger. When we witness anger in small quantities, we can deal with it. In fact, sometimes it's not a bad thing. Sometimes out of a disagreement we get a new discovery, or we reach some new level of understanding, and that's okay. When anger expresses itself like a volcano, that spewing from the crater, it might go in any direction and we just don't know, and people go running for their lives. You've known people like that, people who just explode one day. there was something going on under the surface, but we didn't see it. We didn't see the signs. We were complacent. We didn't know what was going to happen. Something was festering, and we didn't know about it until it erupted. Sometimes anger is like that slow, persistent, red-hot flow of lava that could take out a town. It's so thick it'll cover your house. That kind of anger smothers us. Whether it's yours or someone else's, it takes a long time before it can cool off, before it can fizzle. Anger might come up like wildfire. Sometimes it does, and it gets whipped up by the wind or by someone else. Sometimes the fire that we're not ready for is a variant of a disease or a political movement, or just someone in your neighborhood who's a bit of a rabble-rouser. We build our emotional houses to withstand whatever comes our way, to be in a place where this kind of fire won't bother us, but we never really know. We can't control it, and we can't be complacent. And just as we know that this is a very serious fire season, we also know we're going through very serious times of emotion and anger. Where we live and around the world, we see it in the way people are attacking each other. The last year has made people angry. We have the right to be angry. There's a lot of reason to be angry. We see each other differently than we used to. But isn't that the key? Isn't the key in how we see each other? That's how we can do it, by really understanding, by really looking a little bit deeper than we have before. Watch people, listen to people, hear their anger, hear what's troubling them. Yes, it's important that we all maintain some emotional, defensible space, but we can still take time to work together, to listen to each other, and to look out for each other. It's easy to see the big fires. It's easy to see the smoke and the flame. It takes a little more wisdom to see the fires that don't have flames, the slow burners that move like lava. Those are the flames that are almost invisible until it's too late, until they've already done their damage. But I can say the same thing now about anger that I said a couple of minutes ago about fire. The aftermath of anger is like the aftermath of a fire. When it's over, it takes a while to settle down. It takes a while for everyone to be calm again. It takes a while to recover from the shock. And then the work begins. And the work that we do together is part of the healing. It's important that we keep all parts of the body, all parts of the community in motion, active. It's how we rebuild our lives. We can't control someone else's anger. We also don't want to be complacent. But we can be a little bit more like the scarecrow and be aware. And we can be a lot more like the bee who instinctively knows how to take something awful and turn it into something lovely for the times yet to come. The work we do together is part of our healing. We look for the sweetness in what lies ahead. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Donna. Amazing as always. It's always a joy to have you here. And so now it's our time for our ability to support the Amani Center, our joyful time of giving. So this is the time when you can bring your resources and your flow to the Amani Center so that we can keep doing this good work that we are doing here on the planet. And so during this time of live stream, we have created some various ways for you to give that we're going to bring up on the screen right now to help you give from afar when you're not in the room to pass a basket. So you can use your phone and text the word Amani to 44321. You can hit the donate button that is on all of our newsletters and our email blasts. And if you are not signed up for our newsletters or email blasts, you can go to our website, theamanicenter.org, and sign up for that. You can also donate there. You can also private message us with your email or even drop it right in the comments below, and we will add you to the list. You can use your bank app. Most banks will allow you to set up recurring checks or one-time check, whatever feels right to you. And then you can always just mail us a check. Send it to the Amani Center at 2558 Greenwood Lane, Suite D in Cameron Park, California, 95682. However you support the Amani Center, we're just so grateful for you. We're dropping a link right now as well that you can use to donate. And so we just thank you for whatever you are able to give, whatever it is, it's just right. And we really can't do it without you. So thank you so much. Okay, and so now Angie, our practitioner of the day, will do a treatment for our divine time of giving.
Thank you, Marcy. And so once again, if you will just join me, closing your eyes gently as we feel the presence that flows in, through, and as each one of us. And we feel that communion flowing between us even now, whether you're hearing my voice here in the room or hearing it at home, we still feel you, and we know that we share in that oneness. And so it is from that oneness that we grow in abundance together. I see the Amani Center growing in abundance. I see opulent wealth and prosperity for the center and for every single one in the fellowship. I know that as we prosper, so do you. As we give, we receive. And so we give with a generous heart, knowing that that goes to the center being able to continue doing the work that it's doing, continuing to expand into creating new programs for our children and our teens. And we are so excited to be able to prosper and grow forward in this time that we have all stayed together and made it through the pandemic to come out the other end now. And so we are able to grow and share and create these new positions, and perhaps you're called to participate in one of those roles. It's waiting for you. What you are seeking is seeking you. And so we are so grateful for each and every one of you. And I know that as I speak my word, it is already so, as together we say, and so it is.
And now we have another song from the wonderful Faith Rivera.
Time to shine our light together. Please sing along with me. You know this one. This little light of mine. What are you doing? I'm gonna let it shine. Hey. This little light of mine. What are you doing? I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. When there's beauty in the person, when there's beauty in the person, there is harmony in the home, there is harmony in the home. Oh, when there's harmony in the home, when there's harmony, there is honor in the nation, honor in the nation. When there's honor in the nation, honor in the nation. There is peace in the world. No more living in fear. We're gonna let it shine. We're gonna let it shine. Yeah. No more living in fear. No way. Said we're gonna let it shine, shine. No more living in fear. No way. Said we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Oh, let it shine, shine. Everybody sing it. Shine, shine. Know you want to. Oh, shine, shine. Hey, all around the world. Shine, shine. All my brothers and sisters, yes. Shine, shine. Shine your light for the world. Shine, shine. Be bright, be bold. Shine, shine. Oh, you know you want to. Shine, shine your light for the world. Thanks, guys.
Okay, I want to just say a special thank you to Faith Rivera, our wonderful guest artist, and to Reverend Donna Apidone, our wonderful guest speaker. So wonderful to have both of you here with us. Grateful for you. And for all of you who tuned in on our live stream, and for those who showed up in the Amani Center to watch the live stream on the big screen, grateful for all of you as well. Please just keep coming and doing the work. It's so important. So now let's all stand and we will sing The Presence is Here together.
The presence is here. The presence is here. Love and spirit prevail on each face. The presence is here. Amen. The presence is here. And I will meet you in grace. And I will meet you in grace.
And so just knowing that we are here walking the path on the planet that we're meant to walk, walking our purpose, living our purpose, and that we do it supported, guided, and held in love and kindness always. I say yes to my good, and I know this is true for you as well. Have a wonderful week, Amani. Namaste.